This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports. WAAY 31, your home for high school football.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out high. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. Nolan, Max, Xavier, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Band and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A Morgan County showdown to begin the season. Hartsville, coming off an undefeated season, plays host to an experienced Black Bears team in our Holt Siding Game of the Week.
And a Madison County showdown, 7A Sparkman travels down the road to take on Hazel Green and first-year head coach Charlie Wilburn in our rivalry game of the week. High school football is back. Hello and welcome in to the Week 0 edition of Big Game Friday night. Nolan and I joined here by Max Cohan. And Max, the wait is finally over.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, previewing the season with 31 teams in 31 days was fun and all, but to actually see the teams take the field was great, and we had some great games as well.
Yeah, that we did, like at our McCurry Big Game Friday night Game of the Week, and that's where we begin this week's show at Hartsville High School, where Xavier WAAY has been on the sidelines for all the action. Xavier?
Yeah, Nolan, Max, as you both just mentioned, it is opening week for high school football here in North Alabama. Today at J.P. Cain Stadium, the Hartsville Tigers, they hosted the Austin Black Bears, and it's a Morgan County rivalry that dates back nearly 60 years. Now, both coaches say that their teams need to get off to a strong start this season, so let's see how this one played out. Out in Hartsville, where J.P. Cain Stadium was host to our Week 0 opening matchup between the Hartsville Tigers and the Austin Black Bears. Early in this one, it's quarterback De'Aaron Young. He's going to look right and find 6'3" Cam Collins, who extends the play for an early Black Bears first down. And later on that same possession, Young shows he's just as effective with his legs as he is with his arms. However, this drive would result in a punt for the Black Bears. Now it's the Tigers' turn on offense. Quarterback Jack Smith finds Isaiah Fletcher for the Tigers' first down, which would eventually lead to Smith firing this pass to Eli Tidwell, who outruns the entire Black Bears defense on his way to the end zone. For the first points of the ball game, Tigers up 7-0. But Tidwell was just getting warmed up. Later in the second, Smith finds Tidwell once again. He's going to catch this pass, shed one Black Bears defender, accelerate to the end zone before dodging another Black Bears defender on his way to get his second touchdown of the half, and Hartsville would take a 17-7 lead into the locker room. In Hartsville, after the Tigers just defeated the Black Bears 45-17, I'm with Hartsville head coach Brian Moore. Coach, listen, you all got off to a slow start in that first quarter. What were you seeing from you guys?
Well, I mean, they were fighting us right there. They're a much improved team, and so we had to win some battles, up front, and we did. And we had an opportunity to push it out 2 scores and gave them one right there with the backwards pass. We got to be better there. But I was proud of the kids, the way they fought and finished the ball game.
Coach, listen, you mentioned you wanted to get off to a strong start. Talk about what that means for you and your ball club.
Huge. Momentum's huge, man. I mean, that's a great football team, and with a great head football coach with a very historic, tradition there. And so for us to do that and come away with a win is huge. That scoreboard's probably not indicative of how we really play. We've got to clean some things up and be a little bit better, and we'll go back to work.
Again, that final score is 45-17 as the Hartsville Tigers defeat the Austin Black Bears. And for our Holt Siding Game of the Week from J.P. Cain Stadium, I'm Xavier WAAY, WAAY 31 Sports.
That game just one of many big matchups taking place tonight.
Yeah, that's right. Over at Madison City Stadium, defending Region 4 champs James Clemens were taking on a talented Gardendale team. So let's head to Madison City Stadium. The Gardendale Rockets driving early on, handoff to Brian Gilmore. He's going to power his way into the end zone. Gardendale out on top early, but James Clemens would respond. Check out quarterback Gio Lopez with the fake pitch here, and then he actually pitches it to Gabriel Ballard, and look out, he's cleared for takeoff. Down the sideline, the Jets tie it up, but it wouldn't take long for them to take the lead. Gardendale try to get something going. The ball's on the ground, and eventually it's James Clemens who picks it up, and it's the big guy, Jalen Ruffin, who walks into the end zone. And the game was back and forth all night. In the end, though, Gardendale takes down James Clemens 41-34.
And speaking of 7A schools, Grissom began their season at home tonight against Russellville over at Milton Frank, and it was a battle of the Tigers with Grissom hosting Russellville. We jump into this one with Grissom leading 14-13 in the second half. Golden Tigers forced a punt, and Richard Scott can't field it cleanly, somehow manages to get it off the boot, and Zach Brown makes a sliding catch. Same drive, Grissom looking for the skies. Torrey Foss into double coverage, but Tariq Thaxton pulls off the helmet catch for a big first down. A little shaken up on the play, but he'd be all right. The Tigers would go to the direct snap to finish off this drive as Javion Roscoe finds a hole and says, "Eat my dust." That score gives them 8+1, and the Tigers go on to take this one, 34-21. Big win for the Tigers.
Yeah, real big win. How about we take a trip out to Florence for this next one? Florence in action tonight, taking on Pinson Valley in a non-region matchup. The Falcons looking to build on a playoff appearance from a year ago, but they have a tough task tonight against a talented Pinson Valley team. We'll begin with Pinson Valley, who has the ball early, first quarter, when quarterback Braden Herring finds Caden Edwards with the one-hand grab, and that would set up this touchdown coming up for Pinson Valley, diving for the pylon as Valley are out in front. Falcon quarterback Leo Glover then picks up some yards on his own, but then later on, Pinson, that train would keep on trucking as they would drive to the Falcons' 8. Pinson Valley would end up tacking on 3 more points in the end. It's Pinson Valley that takes it 34-14.
At Madison Academy tonight, a young Mustangs team is looking to build on a successful 2021 campaign. But they welcomed in Deschler and first-year head coach Patrick Malone. And Deschler trailed by just 3 at the half, but Madison Academy would capitalize on a fumble on the kickoff. Ball bouncing around, it's up for grabs, who wants it? Finally, it's the Mustangs who come up with it, and in the end zone, Mustangs on the board again. Then on the ensuing kickoff, the Tigers make up for their mistake. Check out this return. Jakari Plew weaving his way through the defense, just the kicker to beat, and he does. Touchdown Deschler. But the Mustangs would find a way to cross the goal line again. It's Mario Brewer this time, the catch, and he makes his way to pay dirt. But it's Deschler, believe it or not, that moves to 1-0 with a 42-35 win over Madison Academy tonight. All right, let's take a look at some scores from around North Alabama. At Hatton, the Hornets take down Wilson 30-19, while Rogers moves past Haleyville 16-10 in overtime. Meanwhile, in a Limestone County showdown, Ardmore and West Limestone squared off. The Wildcats take this one 27-21, while West Morgan battled Randolph, and the Rebels dominate with the 41-21 victory.
How about those scores there? All right, well, it's time that we take our first time out of the show here on Big Game Friday night.
But when we return, we head out to Hazel Green for our Big Game Friday night rivalry game of the week. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night. Week 0 of the high school football season is in the books.
Yeah, that's right. We had some great games like at our rivalry game of the week at Hazel Green tonight. The Trojans hosting Sparkman in a Madison County showdown. It's first and goal when Sparkman quarterback Josh Ward passes to his wide receiver Jonathan Rozier for the touchdown to put Sparkman up 14-2. Then in the end of the quarter, Ward's going to connect with Matthew Rozier. Sparkman now on top 21-2. And they just kept this thing rolling. We'll go to the second quarter. Sparkman again knocking on the door, and again it's Ward who's gonna let it fly. He finds Bracey Macbeth 28-2. Sparkman ahead as they win our rivalry game of the week over their 6A foe 77-9.
Our guys, they've been practicing against each other for so long. I just thought they was ready to get out there and perform against somebody else. We played well. You know, we made some mistakes early and did some things, but this first ball game, I hope we learn from it and get better and better.
That matchup wasn't the only Madison County battle tonight, though, was it, Mac?
No, you said it. Buckhorn hosted rival Madison County, and the Tigers had trouble finding any room to work with as Mason Meadows gets swarmed for a loss on this one. Madison County would be forced to punt on that drive, and that wouldn't go well either. The snap would sail and roll out the back of the end zone for a safety as Buckhorn hits the scoreboard with a 2-spot. Now with the ball, the Bucks waste no time. Jack Roop drops back and airs it out. Bryce Lowry hauls it in and only has one man to beat, taking him for a ride all the way down to the 3-yard line. From there, Terrence Robinson gives the Tigers the horns as he barrels his way into the end zone for 6. Buckhorn would take this one 29-14.
How about a Huntsville matchup at Westminster where the Wildcats were hosting Lee High School tonight? The Generals and Wildcats both moved the ball well all evening. First, it was the Generals with the long drive to get things going. Caleb Schultz fighting through defenders on this run for a big first down. And then check out Brandon Johnson. He's going to find the end zone. Left side, dragging a defender in with them. 8-0 lead. Generals out in front, but the Wildcats would respond with an impressive drive of their own. Check out my guy, Brandon Mush, going to work for Westminster. Cuts on a dime for a first down, and then he airs one out. It's Owen Lockett all alone in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. In the end, though, it's Westminster Christian that take it 44-23.
While over in Sand Mountain, Scottsboro began their season with a tough task as Fort Payne made the trip across Lake Guntersville to take on the Wildcats. So let's head out to Scottsboro. Tonight, the Wildcats looking for a big win. Fort Payne leads 13-0 as we start the second half. Scottsboro's Thomas Rackler on the reception here and makes it all the way to the 40 before being pushed out of bounds. A little later, with 9 minutes left in the third, Fort Payne still leading when Jake Barnes fires a deep one to Nolan Fowler for a first down. 2 snaps later, it's 1st and goal at the 8. Caden Dubose in for 6 to give the Wildcats a 20-point lead. Fort Payne comes out on top in this one, 20-6. All right, let's take a look at some more scores. Guntersville takes down the Panthers 21-7, and the Jacksonville Golden Eagles with a big win against Boaz 27-7. The Douglas Eagles win a big one in their first game of the season, taking this one 37-7 from the Bulldogs, while the Sardis Lions win a nail-biter 16-14 against the Patriots.
And with that, it's time for us to take our second time out, but don't go anywhere, as when we return, we take a look at some of the action from last night with East Limestone renewing their rivalry with Athens.
Stay tuned for Big Game Friday night. Go Wildcats!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
Hi, Drumline, and you're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
A big congratulations to the Hartselle High School Marching Band for winning our inaugural Flow Air Spirit Award.
The Hartselle Marching Band always brings it, and 90 members strong and 20 years straight of superior ratings, which includes best-in-class awards and numerous grand champions.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, how about we get back to some football? We time travel back 24 hours and head out to Athens High School. Max, I think you were at this game, weren't you? Let's check it out. Over at Athens Stadium, it's the Golden Eagles hosting the East Limestone Indians to renew their rivalry. And the Eagles wasted no time looking to go to the sky. Brogan Gross airs it out for Trey David, who gets all the way to the 3 before finally being brought down. And then later, Larry Howard gets the handoff, makes some moves before diving across for 6. Athens would go for 2 and get it to take an 8-0 early lead. The next Indians drive would stall, and with the ball back, Gross lets it fly again. Jason Ridgel keeps the feet in for a huge Golden Eagles gain, and then later in the drive, it's Howard again. One cut, and this time he makes it 6. The Golden Eagles would win this one 49-14.
We came out and played with a lot of confidence. We played fast, physical, had a lot of fun, and we talk to our guys all the time about, I don't care what sport you're playing, I think the only way you have fun is you get after it. And I think we did get after it, and we're able to have a lot of fun. You know, it creates some excitement around school, around town. Hopefully give our guys some confidence, especially coming off a tough season last year. Give us a little success early, but we also know the road's fixing to get a whole lot tougher.
Athens' next test comes on the road against Bob Jones. Here's a look at another score from last night. ARAB gets the big win over Albertville last night, 47-14, and the Trojans started their season off on the right foot with a 31-7 win over 7A Bob Jones.
Tonight at Section High School, Nikita Stover made his head coaching debut with the Wildcats. Decatur Heritage Christian Academy travels to Section tonight, season starter for both schools. Let's go to 6:29 in the first. Decatur Heritage 1st and 10. Midfield, Bo Solly is going to come around the near side, but he's trapped by Jacob Stringer and J.R. Walker for a loss. Just over 5 left in the first, and Decatur Heritage is stuck 4th and 7th from midfield. Mason Baxley to punt, bounces toward the end zone. Jaden Cooper with a flying scoop. Daniel Taylor right behind to down the ball at the Section 1-yard line. With 3 left in the first, Section has 1st and 10 from their 30. Braden Williams tries the sneak but runs into a wall of Decatur Heritage defense. In the end, the Eagles grind it out against the Lions, 24-22. Looking at some more scores from across North Alabama, the Valley Head Tigers take down North Sand Mountain 45-33, while the Spring Garden Panthers dominate 40-8. Whitesburg Christian Academy wins big in the first game of the season, 47-8, and the Collinsville Panthers walk away with the win, 28-7 over Pleasant Valley.
All right, let's head over to Louis Cruz Stadium for this next one. Decatur on the road tonight as they make the short trip to take on Mae Jemison. And man, did the Red Raiders come to play tonight. Up big win to Jackson Thatch. Makes one of the best plays of the young season. It's a one-handed pick to put Decatur back in scoring position, and they wouldn't wait too long to score once again. Ellis Dickman throws a rope to Jack Waller. He's off to the races, through the defense and in for 6 to make things 42-0 at the time. The Jags would manage to move the ball like here when Courtney Hudson Jr. got things going on the ground, but it wouldn't end the way that Mae Jemison was hoping. They fall tonight 65-0. At Mars Hill Bible tonight, the Panthers challenged themselves with a tough matchup against Coleman, and it's the Bearcats that sneak away with this one 13-10.
At Priceville tonight, the Bulldogs were hoping to build on a successful 2021 campaign against Plainview. A defensive first quarter in Priceville. Priceville quarterback Jackson Prickett takes the snap and rolls to his right. A Plainview Bears defender closes in and forces the interception. Dylan McCulloch snags it out of the air and makes a return, only to fumble it right back to the Dogs. Second quarter and the big play from Priceville. Blitz Clemens coming right at the camera. Big run down the sideline, but he's stopped at the 4. 2 plays later, Mason Karkey takes the snap, and he's going to roll left into the end zone for the 7-0 lead. Later in the second quarter, Plainview would capitalize on Priceville's second turnover of the night. McCulloch plows in from the 2. The 2-point conversion gives Plainview the 8-7 halftime lead. In the end, it's the Bulldogs who take this one 20-8.
All right, big win for Priceville. All right, how about we would take this time to take our third and final time out of the show.
And don't go anywhere. When we come back, we introduce you to our premier urgent care fan of the night and share with you the night's top lights.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
Welcome back into Big Game Friday night, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this year. A busy night for high school football. We still have a couple of scores to share with you this evening.
Yeah, that's right. Phil Campbell traveled south to take on HACKLEBURG tonight, and the Bobcats win big 36-8, while Clements gets a week 1 win over Holy Pond 48-34.
Yeah, and another matchup we had our eye on here at WAAY 31. Danville taking on Lawrence County tonight. The Red Devils get the win. They went winless last year. A big win for the Red Devils, 24-6. And finally, we saw all sorts of great fans supporting their schools tonight.
And we want to highlight some of those great fans with this next segment. Meet this week's premier urgent care fan of the night.
I am WAAY 31's Big Game Friday Night Fan of the Night.
All right, a big congratulations to Zach Rawlings for winning this week's Premier Urgent Care Fan of the Night. He's a Westminster alum, hanging out at his old high school, and was also a former Wildcat mascot. I couldn't think of a better fan to have as our fan of the night. All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up the Week 0 edition of Big Game Friday Night here on WAAY 31.
Congratulations to all of our Week 0 winners, and a big thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight.
And lastly, I'd like to personally thank all of our producers and shooters that helped make this show possible. And of course, to close things out, we'll finish things the same way that we do every episode with this week's edition of Big Game Friday Night Top Flights. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.